Christy, and it's time for your weekly blessing. This series is where I go over a Bible verse, talk about what it means to me, and then I kind of give you a blessing and hope, that blesses you, that you do feel that blessing and that you can kind of move forward into your week, into the rest of your day, just knowing that God is with you and that I'm thinking of you, that I'm praying for you. So this week's verse is actually one of my memory verses. It's one that I actually recite every day. I know this verse very well. It's Jeremiah 29:11, which is actually quite a famous verse. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you future and a hope. I mean, what a wonderful verse. Now in the Bible, that verse in context, Jeremiah is a chapter of the Bible where there's a prophet who is talking to God's people who have actually been taken into captivity because of their disobedience, and they've been worshiping other gods, and they've gone off the rails, and so they've been taken into captivity. But Jeremiah, as a prophet, is telling them, you're going to be okay. Like, you're going through this hard thing right now because of your disobedience and everything, that you've been doing against God. But God is still with you, and he has plans to give you a future and a hope. So it's saying, I know that what you're going through right now is not ideal, but you can hope in God that he's going to bring you through it and you're going to come out of it on the other end. So in context, that's what that verse is. And I just think that's such a wonderful thing for us to keep in mind, because I think that that's also a promise for all of us. When we're in the middle of something, to know that God is with us even in the middle of the thing, and that he has plans for us to prosper us, not to harm us. God doesn't set out to hurt us. He wants to bless us. But what happens is we are living in a fallen world right now, and sometimes we have to deal with the consequences of sin. Does that mean every hard thing you're going through is a consequence of your sin? No. What it does mean is that the reason this world is imperfect and that things happen is because of sin. So it may not be directly, it's not always directly you sinned, so this thing is happening to you. Sometimes it is. Sometimes we suffer the consequences, right, of our own sin. We know we did something we shouldn't have done, and now we're suffering the consequences. Other times, it's not. Sometimes it's the consequences of someone else's sin, unfortunately, and sometimes it's just that this is an imperfect world, and we just go through things sometimes. But God is always with us in the middle of it. And he always has plans to prosper us and to help us. And he wants to give you a future and a hope. So whatever you're going through, if you're going through something really hard right now, this might be a good verse for you to look to and to memorize. So that when you're in the midst of the hard time, you can remind yourself of what God said through the prophet Jeremiah. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. So I hope that's helpful for you. Hope it blessed you. I want to now give you a blessing specifically from the Bible, which is Numbers 6:24-26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Bye.